episode 82 of This Week in Grip. This is Napalm coming at you, and I got Alan Heineck and James Retarides here with me. We're going to cover a bunch of things today. There's going to be a super match in 2019 between myself and someone else. The challenge was laid down. It's going to be a good time. We've got to find a proper time to do it so that we can choose all of the events, and I believe that you, the listeners of This Week in Grip, are going to help us choose those exact events, and we're going to get into that more in just a little bit. We're also going to talk about some of the goals that you yourselves have listed for this year. We want to talk about those. We talked about ours already in previous show, and then we want to talk about some of the other excellent goals that have been set out for this year from some of you. And then also, James has a little bit of a story to share with us. He had another visit, it seems, from the Juji Mufu. So we're going to talk about that again today. Alan, where are we at with uses of the hashtag This Week in Grip, brother?
Boy, I actually have. Let me take a look and find out right now. I've actually gotten a little bit.
You just dropped the ball, Alan. I'll tell you what, dude. You're walking on thin ice. It's about the last time that this ever better happen. You better be ready with the numbers. I don't care about your excuses about you're going to the store and refereeing basketball games. I don't want to hear that. You better be ready next time, dude. The warning has been set.
Yeah, Alan. We rely on you as our statistician here.
I got 2670 right now is what I'm seeing. Does that sound right?
2670?
Yep.
That's awesome. Fantastic. Good job, Alan. Next time, snap, okay? Snap.
You bet.
All right. Or else you might have to have surgery on that other arm again in 6 months, okay?
Never know.
Picking up my signals here.
Oh, take it easy. Settle down there, Jedd.
Yeah. All right. Calm down. Had a rough day at church today, so. Well, let me ask you this, guys. What's the top feat that you've seen in the last week? Before we get into the content that we just said, what's some stuff that you've seen already this week? Anything jump out?
Wow. Do you want to take this first, Alan? Because I'm actually trying to go over it. I saw where, because I don't know if this is a big number. I know it's really hard for me to do. I saw Gil Goodman was over 60 pounds on the bull ring. So
really?
I'm thinking, yeah. And then yesterday, Bob was playing around with a 50-pound plate that has a shallow-ish hub. It's got it's less than an inch, but it's not as shallow as, say, a York 45. And he was able to lift that. It doesn't have any spokes on it, too. So he was able to lift that. A couple of us got it off the ground, but, Bob was able to kind of lift it up and casually lock it out and then stroll away with his hands in his pockets like no big deal,
Well, that was actually the one that I was going to bring up, James, and to further on that topic, I know somebody who has plates like that, and I can't think of who it actually is. At first, I thought it was Joe Sullivan who had plates like that, but then I remembered that he has, he might have said this too, but his are actually Lou Ferrigno plates. And I had him here borrowing them for a little bit to try to pinch them, and I never ended up doing that. But his plates have a round, not round, but a rubber rim around the outside of the plate. Did those have a rubber rim around them, or were they essentially bumpers, kind of?
Yeah, they do have a rubber rim. They're like an interesting set of plates. John Von Plinsky, do you guys know John?
I know John. Yep.
Yeah. Well, John is in Georgia. He's in Augusta, about 2 hours from here, and he's actually coming to pick the plates up. But he had asked me on Monday if I would grab the plates from the guy because he lived about 45 minutes from here, and he really wanted to unload them. So I drove up and I picked up the plates for John, and John is actually coming to pick them up today, this afternoon. But we wanted to kind of mess around with the hubs a little bit while we had it. I mean, they were too wide for us to pinch. And that rubber rim made it really awkward to even try to pinch.
Weird.
But yeah, I mean, I had managed to get it off the ground left-handed earlier in the week, and I was thinking, I didn't do any hub stuff with my right. I'd probably be able to get it off the ground on Saturday, but I couldn't pull it, up with any, regularity beyond like 3 or 4 inches. I think it was the most I ever got it up. But Bob was able to lock it out like 3 or 4 times, and Scott Johnson came by, and, he had it off the ground a couple times. His hub is pretty ridiculous, but he couldn't lock it out either. So it was a tough feat, but, that's kind of what Bob does,
Yeah.
Just lurks in the shadows and then walks over and just does stuff, and then he goes back and he hides in the shadows again.
Right.
Like Bob.
Cool. Yeah, man. Well, thanks for sharing a little bit of backstory on that, because I got to figure out who had plates like that. Somebody had plates like that, and I remember trying to hub it and never ended up doing it either. So.
Yeah.
What about you, Alan? Anything catch your eye?
Yeah, Jerome Bloom had a pretty nice lift on one of those David Horn pennies. Hit about just shy of 25 kilos on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah.
Yeah, that was nice. And then on the grip board there was a blob transfer. It was one of those steel blobs that we saw recently. It's like one of those Heller blobs more or less. It weighed about 50 pounds. The guy did a hand transfer. That's pretty sweet.
Cool.
But other than that, I guess those are kind of the main things I've seen lately.
Well, there's a couple highlights. We're kind of trying to take a page out of the Pickup Artist book, James. We've opened up the gym to a lot more people lately. I don't know if you've seen any of the pics or clips, but yesterday we just had, it was Luke and myself and Joe Sullivan, which you guys have seen lots of videos of Joe coming down, and then also Adam Culver, who's been down a few times. But then we also had a couple new guys, Brian Clifford, which is Big Red Doc on Gripboard, was down, and also a guy named Mike Allen, which I believe he graduated with Luke, or at least he was friends with Luke in high school. And Mike was like doing 15 seconds on the Silver Bullet with 142 number 3 yesterday.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, and Brian Clifford ended up lifting, I believe, a half 80 York blob yesterday, and then I think that's what he was doing the grip rush with that I uploaded on YouTube this morning. Mm-hmm. So quite a bit of chalk dust was produced. Let me tell you something. I just mopped it up this morning. It was something to behold. But lots of good work, and it was a cool atmosphere having that many people there. It's been a long time since we had that many people training together at the gym. And you'd have to go back to like 2009 when Mike Rinderly used to come up, Brent Barbie, Rick Walker. Those guys would come up almost every other weekend. So that was pretty sweet. That was pretty cool. So
yeah,
got a good thing going for, I think.
I think those are really fun times too. They're motivating. There's a lot of camaraderie. Like, every week it'll be me and Jason, Gary Stewart. We had Sean Capusta there this week. Sometimes Scott Johnson and Bob, because Bob is our host, our wonderful host Bob Sundin. And then afterwards we'll go and we'll get lunch and we just cut it up and have a good time. So.
Sure.
So yeah, it's a highlight of my week for sure. So I totally understand.
Yeah, I also want to say thanks to Alan, because with the help of Muscle Link, Devon Lee Brown, Alan sent me a half 145 Gigantor blob, Legacy blob, to train on here at the gym. So appreciate it, Alan. Thank you very much. I did do an unboxing video. I just haven't uploaded it yet.
Oh, nice. You take a squeeze on that thing yet?
I did take a squeeze on it. Now, I think we talked about, I think it was just you and me, that I put my hand on my 145s and I kind of squeeze like that, my whole, uncut 145s, and I was like, damn, this feels pretty good. I don't think this feels too much out of the question. Yours has a bit more of the natural paint on it still. So mine have been dropped a lot more because I'm using my 145s for dumbbell bench press. And,
okay.
So like that outside skim of paint is gone on mine. So like it seems to be with the Legacies that they have some kind of outer coat of paint and then an inner coat of paint, and it's two different paints, and the underside seems to be like rough, like a primer maybe, and then the outer side is slicker. So yours still felt pretty, it felt okay. It didn't feel scary or anything like that, but it didn't have the same promising feel as mine. I took a couple pulls on it, and it didn't amount to much, but it wasn't. It does, like I said, it doesn't feel too scary. It doesn't feel like too big of a jump.
Nice. I know Devon palmed the thing, Muscle Link. He gave it a palm action, and his impression was that was not going to go anywhere. So.
Yeah. Well, it definitely didn't go anywhere yet, but I got some standby methods that I'll be employing.
Oh yeah.
So
yep.
So we'll see how it goes.
Oh, I can't wait to see some of those videos. Yep.
Yeah, man.
Cool.
Well, I know they had those on clearance too because of the paint-related issues. Because
I remember it had something to do with paint, but I never really got any specifics as far as like what it was. That's actually how I got my two 145s. I wanted 150s, but
that's how this one
came
out. Yep, this was one of the scratch and dent ones.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if you guys are aware of it, but at least as of last week, York had some plates on sale too for the same kind of ridiculous deal. Even their calibrated 25-kilogram plates were like way under $1 a pound. I can't remember exactly how much, but it was ridiculous. And Bob and I picked
people
up
should jump on that because their shipping is not unreasonable from those guys. They don't charge it. They're not making any money on the shipping.
Right.
Yeah, if you get 4, it's better than getting 2 too, because the shipping's actually it comes out to being less. So Bob ordered 4 of them, and I'm going to take 2 off his hands, and we're going to split the difference. So
I got to check those out. Yeah, because they're prompt too. They don't sit on your order for like 2 weeks. They get it right out the door for the most part. So nice.
Well, we're still waiting on ours, but
I've got the page up, and I'll look at that after this.
Yeah, I hope they still have some in stock because we saw that price, and it was just this past week, and we were like, yeah, let's go for it. So cool. I figured I'd tell you guys.
Yeah, I'm checking it out.
Nice. All right. So anything else before we get into the proposed topics?
Oh, I want to know who has challenged you to a Grip Supermatch.
Yeah, man.
Oh. We guessing? Because I wanted to take a guess at this.
Yes, you can definitely guess. Let me just give a little information. So what we're talking about here is a certain person reached out to me about having a one-on-one grip contest. So in the past, I've known these to be called super matches, which is a term that comes from arm wrestling, which I didn't know. James, you and some other people crafted that word first originally?
Well, we didn't exactly craft it. We kind of redefined it because what super match meant back in the 90s, it was like an absolute category for different tournaments that were overseas, most notably in Russia. And I remember the big one that I remember was 99 in Japan, which John Brzezinski won, and that was at the WAF Worlds. But it was like an absolute category that, was either an invitational or anyone could enter, and it was to give away, a considerable amount of money. Mm-hmm. There were round-robin type events, but in 2005, Christian Binney, Pete Milano, and I put together the Northeast Arm Wrestling Association, and we set up a format where there would be super matches for money, one-on-one matches between people, and then a tournament. And we had a schedule that sort of worked out so that we'd have like 6 to 8 super matches, maybe a round robin, and then the weight classes. And it just caught fire because it was a style of tournament that started, popping up everywhere after that. And many people have adopted it. And, when you look at like the WAL, for example, that is, that super match format is pretty much, a derivative of what we did. and what Neil Pickup did with his Arm Wars matches in England. But we had unbelievable events, and we were so surprised at. I mean, I think we had an idea that we were on to something, but our first event drew so many arm wrestlers, it was unbelievable. We had probably 100 really good arm wrestlers that didn't even enter the event. That's how stacked the classes were. And at the end of the event, we had Jerry Cataract and Travis Bajent pulling for $15,000.
Wow.
And that was crazy because you guys familiar with like Norwalk, Connecticut at all?
No.
No, I'm not.
Well, there was a bar called the Black Bear. It was kind of a club, and they had these windows that opened up to the outside, and people were gathered on the sidewalks to watch what was going on. And, you know, it was funny because there wasn't like any kind of parking there, which kind of made it a pain in the butt for some of the arm wrestlers. And you could tell, like, a lot of the arm wrestlers, like, never been to a city before by the way they parked. I mean, if you looked outside at the street, I mean, everybody's parallel parked. It kind of looked like Helen Keller was the valet or something, because it was like you had cars 7 feet out into the road and some like almost on top of the curb. But it was such a spectacle. There were so many people there. And, you know, over the years, we had some of the greatest arm wrestlers in the world fly out for our events and great matchups, great memories. And, yeah, that's the super match. But it's taken on a new form since then. And I'd be excited to see what it brings to Grip.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the one that I remember from, like, the mid-2000s was Theo Berggraf went against Steve Gardner one time in a super match, and there haven't been too many since then. I know one time we ran a contest here in February, and Luke and I just did our own weight class, or not weight class, but our own division, so that our scores weren't compared to everybody else's. And we just kind of called it a grudge match because that's what it's called in pro wrestling. But yeah, so the proposal has been made that this person and I get together for our own competition. And I think if I go into any more detail, it might give away who it is. So if you guys have guesses, you can feel free to shoot them my way. And I just want to remind everybody to hit the thumbs up button on this video, give it a like, and it'll help out our cause. So, Alan, I don't know if you have a guess. I think you do. Who do you think it might be?
I do. I was going to go with John Clark Eklund, actually.
And why do you say that, Alan? That's interesting that you say that.
Well, so there was recently, I took it as kind of a call-out post on Facebook from him. And I don't remember the specifics of it, but it was something to the effect of there was a number of gripsters out there being self-proclaimed like the best in the world, and he offered up kind of an end-all, be-all competition to sort of settle who that was.
Right.
And now I understand he wasn't directing this at you, and I've never even heard you say that you were the best.
Right.
But it almost could have been interpreted that way, though, how it had come out. So that's just the one that immediately came to mind. I know you had responded, and he responded back, and it seemed like a possibility.
Well, I first off, I don't think I've ever heard anybody say that, oh, they're the best in grip, ever in my life.
Nor have I, actually. Nor have I.
I've heard people say that a certain person is the best, and some people have said that I am the best, which I definitely don't agree with. I do not agree with that. But when people make posts like that, I like to see if I can get them to really commit to who they're actually talking about. So that's why I responded to that the way I did, to try to see if he would give an inclination as to who he was talking about. But he never ended up doing it.
He stepped back from it. Yeah. He left it gray.
So it was kind of like, let's see where this one goes. But no, it is not John Clark Eklund, although I'm sure that would be a fun time to get together for a super match with him sometime down the road as well. But no, that's...
Have you guys met him?
That's not who it was. I've never met him, no. Mm-mm.
No, me neither.
He was here at Europa in Charlotte about a year and a half ago. And he put up some pretty obscene numbers on Rolling Thunder and on the Hub. He he didn't seem like he was here to make many friends, though. We'll put it that way.
Well, I think that was the week that he said that he was going to. He made the post that he was going to like close the 4 and snatch the inch dumbbell and carry the blob across country and stuff like that. It was right around that time.
There was we did a show that was covering something like that, and a fellow had sent us a write-up, and that was kind of the impression that I was under also when you say about, not making friends.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was funny because, like, I had arm wrestled. Like, I came over, I just got off the table with Michael Todd. I mean, he and I pulled in the overall, and my forearms were all blown up, but I was kind of going back and forth between the arm wrestling and the event that Iron Mine had there that had axle deadlift. So I missed what he pulled on the axle because I was over arm wrestling. I was still like in the finals or in the overall at that point. Mm-hmm. And then they had Hub, which I knew he won the Hub, and then Rolling Thunder, which I'm almost positive he pulled well over 200. And Hub, I want to say he pulled in the 80 to 90 range. He was strong, but we were over there, and there was probably probably 15 people over there, and he was like, Scott Johnson went up to the stage to lift the Hub, and he's probably in like the 60s or something, and he lifted and he locked it out, and he walks over, and John Clark Eklund looks at him and he goes, "This is my house." And it's like what are you, like, really, dude? Like, what?
Wow. Awesome.
That's have a laugh.
I actually kind of like that, though. I wasn't there to see how that came across, but I think we need some of that in Grip because that does get some excitement going on.
Alan, there was no one watching except for like the family of the people who were competing.
Right. Oh, sure. Okay.
Trust me, it's like if there were like 1,000 people and maybe
it's like saying it in front of his mirror.
Yeah, if he was like hyping it, but it was like he said that, and he just kind of looked at him like, "What? Like, did he just say that out loud?" You know what I mean?
Awesome.
It was funny, but no, he's a strong guy. But there was certainly some ego clashing thing. I tried to get him to go over to the arm wrestling table with me at one point because that sometimes that can bring one's ego down to earth.
Sure. Sure.
That's funny that you say that, James, because that was going to be the settler at the event that he proposed. So it was going to be a head-to-head grip competition, and then tiebreakers would have been settled by arm wrestling. You might want to think about going to that.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, look, I'm not even trying to pretend that I have like the grip of that guy. I'm not even going to pretend that. But yeah, if I can make it to the settler, I'd be fine.
You just got to step up to the table, drop your elbow on the pad, and say, "This is my house."
Like I said, I mean, he put up obscene numbers. Like it was, we were all like, "God, who is this guy?" And we thought he was going to be like kind of cool and kind of interactive, like most guys in Grip. He's like, "This is my house," and we were like, "Wait, what?" It was a silly moment. But I mean, we're friends on Facebook. Like, he sent me a friend request the next day, so I don't know. I guess we're all right.
Right.
It's just I remember sitting there thinking to myself, that just didn't come out right. Nothing about that was right. So it's not John R. Clark Eklund, is what you're saying.
No, it's not.
Okay.
That was about all I had then.
Well, I mean, for me, I was hoping it was like Yuha or somebody.
Oh, that would be excellent. No, unfortunately I haven't heard from Yuha in quite some time directly.
It's been pretty quiet.
Yeah. No. I don't know. Should I tell who it is, or should I?
Okay, just one more thing then before you. No. I want to hear. I got to know the reveal, but give us something then. So, what kind of events did the person propose, or anything like that? Something we can work with.
Let me tell you something. I don't remember exactly what he said, but I'm going to go back to the text message series, and I'm going to see what it says.
It was a text. Okay. Yep. Now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah. Does that give you? I didn't say that originally because in my mind I thought that might totally give away who it was.
It's helping. Are you on good terms with this person? Tommy Jennings. I'm going it. Tommy Jennings.
Yes, phenomenal terms. Fantastic
That
terms.
just narrowed it down to me. So now we know it's someone who has a cell phone.
Yeah.
So.
I'm still going to go with Tommy Jennings, I guess.
Not Tommy. Although that would be a good one too. That would be a good one.
That would have been a good one.
Tommy,
yeah, because that's another one that could be settled by arm wrestling.
Yep.
So my guess would be if it was somebody who was maybe stateside who you texted with probably on a relatively regular basis, my guesses would be it would either be Tanner or Gil.
Let me read the text message. It's neither of those guys either. All right. So this is a rant. So I texted this guy on December 5th, right? And that was because someone wanted their email address. And then randomly on Wednesday, January 9th, I get this text message. Do you have any interest in a pinch grip super match between you and me? It would be fun. It would be for fun, of course, as I consider you my friend. I would come to your gym first and compete on your pinch equipment, and then you can hopefully come to my gym and do the same on mine. Thoughts? And that's it.
Huh. Wow.
No, I got nothing. Same weight class as you?
Comp. He might be. So I'm 120. He might be 120 plus.
See, like pinch-wise, I'm thinking about guys like Ardo. Like Yeah. Wow.
I'm going to tell you, it's a United States guy. It's not an international competitor.
Clay Edgen.
Well, I know you're like really close friends with this guy, so I don't think it would be him. But I think about like some of the blobs he lifts and stuff. I was thinking maybe Rinderly, but I got nothing, Jed. I'm going to start.
It's not Clay Edgen.
It's not Clay. That would be phenomenal, also. And
well, that would have been perfect.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys have been watching what Mike Rinderly's been doing lately, but he is on a tear when it comes to pinching stuff. So
yeah, that's why I thought maybe it was Rinderly.
Yeah. Nope.
Okay, I gotta know.
Not Clay, not Tanner, not Gil, not Ardo, not Yuha, not Rindo. Aaron Corcoran? Nope.
Yeah.
Nope, not Rindo.
That would have been good.
Not Aaron.
I'm just going to start guessing names at random.
Listen,
Jerome Bloom.
Think about who might just have the strongest pinch grip
Cody.
in the United States.
Cody?
I mean, he's right up there, of course, naturally.
I would actually thrown out Adam Glass, but
okay, you're naming some big names. These guys are all guys that are like currently involved in grip. Think of somebody that hasn't been involved in grip actively for a while.
Jake Salaney.
Actively.
Jake's another big name, yes, but that's not it.
Actively involved.
Think of somebody who's got their own gym, and this person has hosted grip contests before.
Oh,
world class feats.
Would it be a Gillingham or a Woodall or?
Ding, 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 ding. It was
talking
Chad
about Wade Gillingham.
Chad
Wow.
Chad Woodall.
Oh wow.
So,
yeah. Wow. Well.
Yeah. So.
Well,
Chad,
that's out of nowhere.
Yeah. Well, Chad and I. So anytime Chad does something that's like otherworldly, he'll text me about it and say, "Please don't tell anybody." He just doesn't want the attention. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So. And we stay in touch. We text a few times a year, and Christmas time, New Year's, stuff like that, and and I let him know when I clean the inch dumbbell and things. And then he just texted me. So I think maybe I don't know that he wants to do like a contest, like to prepare for a full contest, but I think he's just looking for a way to just have some fun and do something like that. So. Yeah, so he literally said pinch grip super match between him and myself, and
cool.
maybe we do one here, do one down there.
Just pinch?
Well, he said pinch, so maybe it would be like a blob event, a plate pinch event, two-hand pinch event, stuff like that.
Oh, because I had off the cuff, I had a vent selection. But.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen him go through and just pinch it looks like every 45 in the gym together.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I know he's got a unbelievable pinch, and I know he's also done the old school Yorks, the deep dish Yorks, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
So the way I could see it working is, and I said it sounds really fun, buddy. He goes, maybe this summer or sooner. You tell me what works best for you, and then we can iron out events. It would be fun, but no basketball though. You guys have any idea what the reference is to that?
No.
Okay, so Chad was an excellent college basketball player, and he would slam dunk the ball 10 times each game or something like that, power forward. And when he was at my house the last time, after the grip contest, we were outside doing feats of strength in my yard, and I just got done telling Chad, I said, watch out because the wind just blew that basketball hoop over the other day. So the basketball pole is connected to this big plastic thing that you're supposed to put water or sand in so it stays sturdy. And we never ended up doing that because there was nobody here that could reach up and grab the rim or anything like that besides me, and I sure wasn't in any hurry to play basketball. So I just told Chad that story when about 30 seconds later he grabbed the ball, power dunked it, and then power dribbled it and then slammed it with authority down to the ground, hung on the rim, and tipped the whole entire basketball hoop over and came down and smashed the concrete. I thought he cracked the concrete, and I also thought he cracked his elbow because he was walking around, hobbling around, holding his poor elbow. He told me later, he's like, dude, I wanted to cry so bad, but there were a bunch of women around, and I just couldn't do it. So the joke for a while was that I booby trapped the basketball hoop for him. So that's why he's saying no basketball. So I said, that's hilarious. Let me think about it a bit. I'll have nationals in June, maybe a few weeks after that, while there's no big contest planned. He goes, maybe get grip board input if you like. I'm sure there would be interest in watching. I'll bring some 3-in-1 oil and need to clean the carburetor on my CPAP machine, so I will get some rest before that day. We stayed for the first Mighty Mitts. We were in the room together, and I didn't realize, but he had a CPAP machine, and I have one too. So it's I just remember looking over in the middle of the night, and he had this big machine on his face, looked like a gas mask. So that's one of the running jokes too. So that's the discussion, and I said maybe we could get my podcast listeners to decide the events. So that's where we're at. There hasn't been too much discussion after that.
Oh wow!
Sounds good.
So I got event ideas.
Do you?
Me too.
Yeah. So I think it absolutely has to be Euro.
Okay.
One of them, no doubt, because he's mentioned that he's cracked 300 off the ground before. Mm-hmm. And
that was on
let's see
old school York plates, as far as I know. On old school York plates.
Oh, okay.
Off the ground. Yeah.
That's
insane.
I was going to throw out a 2 3/8 inch axle.
Okay.
And then I'd say number 4 silver bullet hold.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
It's mine. I think that's
those because I don't know if I'm not sure if he even has any grippers anymore. I think at one point he sold all his grippers off.
Well, he only needs one.
True. That's true.
That's an easy sell. Oh. Well, that's my thought. James, what do you think?
I think medleys. I'm thinking of medleys. When I hear somebody, because I start thinking, well, gosh, they could do a farmer's walk with milled 45s, or they could do like, try to lift 55s to a platform one-handed. They could have a blob medley, maybe have it go up in like 10-pound increments from like, half a 105 up to like that 145.
I like
those
that.
are the kind of things I start thinking of. I'm like, gosh, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Even each have like have your own pet lift, like you pick one, Jed, like what you had mentioned one time with Rex Hubbard back in the day, where he picked some impossible feat, right?
Right.
So you could each do one like a facelift, weight added, or some shit like that, and then he picked, and you got to knock yours out, and then then him
like
knock his out.
Almost like horse.
Yeah.
With that.
Yes, exactly. That's an awesome way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So, because then it's kind of it really is more or less a face-off. Then you're picking, trying to one up yourself. If he comes in and comes over the top of what you did, that's pretty awesome.
Right.
So I have an idea.
What's that?
All right. I think it should be a live feed. I think you should do a live feed.
Yeah, I think that would be cool.
I really do. Like Alan's laughing at me right now, but I
think it's a great idea.
Live feed would be really cool.
Yep.
Well, I know that at my
announcer.
gym there's actually internet that's reliable enough to do that instead of having it shut off every 5 seconds when it's in my garage. So that would definitely be a possibility for that.
Yeah, you could have an announcer maybe someone with some previous broadcast experience. I don't know. I'm sure there's someone you could find.
Yeah, we need some commentary, I think.
Yeah, I think that would be cool.
Well, I always said that if we had commentary for a grip contest, the best two people to have would be James Retarides and Joe Musselwhite. I thought that would be
we could do it.
A celebrity duo for grip commentary.
I'd love to do that.
That would be like Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler right there.
Which one of us is the king?
I would say that you were the king, and Joe would be the Jim Ross.
Okay, so we got to give Jim. We got to give Joe. What's that?
This could be epic. You guys could even have like cornermen. Like Luke could be your guy for chalking your stuff up,
right?
And prepping your implements. Yeah, you could take this just a long ways.
Yeah.
Have like matching like some Friction Labs chalk shirts on or something like that. I don't know. Get like a sport. Look like a billboard on you.
Yeah.
Get like those things where people get like that stuff stenciled on their bodies.
Luke will have his arm around the
kinesiology tape that has Diesel Crew written on it. Wrap it around my arm or something.
Yeah.
I could see Luke just with his arm around the bigger blobs, rubbing the chalk on and gently whispering to them, to go up to Jed. I could see that. That's a nice visual. I think this has got to happen.
Yep.
Yeah. No, this could be a lot of fun.
Promotion.
Sweet. So where is he in relation to you, Jed?
Well, he's in Georgia.
Yeah.
So
okay.
The trip up for him, the trip from gym to gym is pretty substantial, but you lay that stuff out ahead of time and get your flights booked.
Well, then you got to agree then on a neutral location so you can have a rubber match for your third one. You can't just think 1 and 2.
Yeah, the objective would be to have at least a rubber match. That, or I would want to win, 2-0, and then we don't have to worry about it.
Right,
I definitely wouldn't want to fall 0-2 right off the bat. That would be no fun. But, that's where.
Yeah, if you lose in your house, then there'd be no point in even scheduling a third. But
yeah,
I'm pumped. This is awesome.
Me too.
Cool stuff.
Let's do it.
Cool stuff. All right, well, there it is. So if anybody has any other suggestions about possible events that you'd like to see contested between Napalm and Chad Woodall, then leave them in the comments section, brother, because we're open to feedback. And I know how Chad thinks about grip contests. He doesn't care what the events are. You tell him what the events are, and he's going to train them as hard as he can so that he can go win the contest. That's how he approaches stuff. So there is no, let's leave no stones unturned, no limits on the creativity. Let's bring it.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
So awesome.
we've got like 8 minutes before 2 o'clock, and we haven't even talked about the listener goals yet, guys, so maybe we ought to knock some of those out here pretty quick, and then we can touch on the Jujimufu trip, or maybe we might have to table that. I'm not sure. But
yeah, it's up to you guys.
Well, let's definitely go over some of the listener goals that were posted. Anything in particular that you guys noticed that was, like, super crazy?
No, I
like
like
all of it was super crazy.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff is substantial. Like one that jumps out at me is Becca Roberts, COC number 3, with a credit card close of the COC. I mean, that would be awesome. Hold all the Iron Mine records at the same time. 200-pound Rolling Thunder with the Crush to Dust and win World's Strongest Woman. I mean, those are some pretty lofty goals, but
they're not unreasonable, though, for her.
They're not unreasonable, and, like, seriously, if your goals aren't big enough that they scare you, then your goals are not big enough. Like, those are the kinds of goals you need to set for yourself. So,
but in this sport, though, she's just been nothing but trending up. Mm-hmm. You know, so I mean, they seem huge. They certainly are huge, but she's been crushing it, though. You know, there's no doubt in my mind she can do those. Yes. Yep. Doing something right.
She's very young, so... You know, that helps too. When you're that age and, you know, you're already setting all of these records, and I don't have much question that she'll have all of those Iron Mine records. So
yeah, a lot of it's just having the venue to contest them all, to go and compete on all of them, because not all of them are held all the time. So that's part of it.
Yeah. Jerome Bloom had some nice ones.
Yeah, where's he at on here? Where's Jerome? Here we go.
He was at the notch down from
Grip Tops half-penny, 40-kilogram flask with 2 fingers and a thumb.
Check that stub lift.
Grip Top stub lift. Damn.
Ouch.
40-kilogram Iron Mine hub lift and 30-kilogram double pinch of the Grip Tops half-penny.
Yeah. Yeah, and, you know, it's funny because, like, I know I come across as, like, very critical of some of those events, but it doesn't mean that I'm not impressed when somebody does that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Oh, absolutely.
By the way, you and Chad Woodall should be doing stub pull-ups. That should be one of the events.
What was the pull-ups?
Stub pull-ups. Come on.
You asshole.
Yeah, that should be the first event, right?
Right off the bat, let's lay those fingers right open, bro. If there's not blood on every implement by the time we're done, then there's something wrong.
Yep.
The half-penny sled drag. What do you say?
Evil.
Yep.
I like Thomas Larson's goals here. Get myself a Millennium dumbbell and lift it tilted. Get myself a Blob Father and lift it. Hand-to-hand air transfer with Blobzilla. That's freaky. Top 3 in the 100-kilogram class at the Arnold's. Top 3 at Living Legends. Win our Grip Nationals overall. 110-kilogram Iron Mine Bighorn in a contest. 120-kilogram Silarukov 80-millimeter pinch block lift. 22nd Silver Bullet number 4 in a contest. 120-kilogram FBBC anvil lift. 105-kilogram 2.5-inch crusher lift. 105-kilogram Rolling Thunder newest model lift. 160-kilogram double Rolling Thunder pull-up.
Wow.
CC. What's CC? Country Crush? Country Crush 3-inch, 140-kilogram lift. 185-kilogram Iron Mine axle deadlift, and getting a stronger grip in general. Probably some more with a thinking emoji.
Yeah, I think if he does all that, you know, he'll have a stronger grip by the end of the year. So
that's a safe bet.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, but, you know, when you watch Thomas do stuff, it's almost like he just casually does world-class stuff so much. It's like, well, yeah, why not? Why couldn't he do those things?
Well, yeah, it actually slipped my mind that he did an assisted facelift with Blobzilla and then, like, kind of hovered it around a little bit instead of having it just crash to the ground after the assistance part. Did you guys see that?
He did a solid negative with that.
Yeah. A solid negative.
Yeah. So that's right on the horizon for him, I guess. Yeah.
Which is...
Have you facelifted that sucker?
Good Lord. No, dude, no. Please, no.
That's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
He must be able to, palm a dinner plate or something like that. That's, ridiculous.
Right.
Huh.
People like him with big hands don't realize what it's like to have small hands like me.
Oh, you poor thing.
Just kidding, guys. Just kidding.
Poor Jedd.
Yeah. You guys know this Jeremy Hogg? He posted towards the end. He just posted 2 days ago. 130 kilogram Rolling Thunder and 230 kilogram axle double overhand.
Wow.
I'm not familiar with him.
So he was in the first Mighty Mets, if I remember correctly. Either the first or second. He was in one of them that I was in. So it was either 2010 or 2012. He's from, I believe, Australia. It could be New Zealand.
Yeah, I knew his name sounded familiar. I was like, I know that name. Yeah, but I don't know him now.
Yeah.
That's a big Rolling Thunder lift.
Oh, yeah. That's a huge Rolling Thunder. And it very really well could be an old Rolling Thunder that he's talking about.
Yeah, because that's really disproportionate to his axle that he's suggesting, in my opinion. So, but that's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you guys knew that name or not, but he posted there towards the end.
Nice.
So there's lots of them there. They're on my Facebook if you want to watch, if you want to check it out. Harry Talonen posted, Circo Peterman posted, John O'Connor, Dustin McFarland. Lots of people posted there some interesting goals. So it'll be good to follow these and have to grab screenshots of these to remember next year whether any of these or all of these were reached. Because I know I won't remember all of them, brother.
For sure.
Yeah, we need a way to revisit that, don't we?
Yeah.
Have some accountability, see who actually accomplished what they... Becker's will be easy to follow. All you got to do is just tune into Iron Mind, and she hits those things. Nobody knows about it.
Aren't we all tagged in it? So, it's a next year. Won't it come up in our feed 1 year ago? This happened in our Facebook memories. So we'll probably be able to revisit it that way.
Yes. We just have to remember, that when it says you were in this thing with James and Alan and 55 other people, that the reason why is because that's the goalpost.
Yes. Yes.
Huh.
Absolutely.
So cool. So why don't you tell us what the heck happened over this week? I'm assuming it was this week, James. Maybe it was not. Maybe it was a little bit longer ago, but I know some videos came out and
it was
pictures on your Instagram. Yeah. So hit us.
Yeah. Well, on last week, I was texting back and forth with Devon Larratt. I knew he was coming here to the Charlotte area because he was going to be filming with Tom and Juji Mufu for 4 days. So Tom had actually sent me the filming schedule with a couple of other people, and we were looking at the schedule, and Devon said, well, we'll try to find a way to get together. We'll find a crack in the schedule. We'll, go grab something to eat or whatever. Well, on Wednesday, they let me know that they were going to a bar called the Press Box. Now, the original Press Box was the first sports bar in Charlotte, and it was in South Charlotte, and it had an arm wrestling table in it, which is interesting because it's where I reunited with Jason Otto, because I knew Jason early 2000s when he was just a kid from arm wrestling. Didn't see him for probably 5 or 6 years. Didn't even know we both moved to the Charlotte area, and met him again at the Press Box at an arm wrestling event they had. Well, they had moved the original Press Box to a new place, and that was where they were going to film with Devon that night. So Tom was texting with me, and he asked me if I could come over on Wednesday afternoon to Juji's. So I did. After work, I head over there and just kind of hung out with them and had lunch and just pulled a little bit, talked a little bit, went over some old memories and whatnot. And then they'd said, you got to come out with us tonight. We're going to dress up Devon as an old man. And the premise is going to be that he's our grandfather who we broke out of the old person's home because he wants to relive his glory days as an arm wrestling champion from 50 years ago. So So they put the most ridiculous gray wig on him that you've ever seen, with this bushy salt and pepper, like Yosemite Sam mustache. They put a hat on him. It was like this 10-gallon American flag hat that had like these little bronze star rivets in it. I told Evan, I said, it doesn't even look like a hat. I mean, it looks like a Budweiser commercial on your head. I mean, it was the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen. And what we did was we took him to the Epicenter, which is in downtown Charlotte. It's multiple levels, has plenty of bars. There's a Gold's Gym there. We took him there, wheeling him around with a sign. You guys know that meme with the guy with the sign that says, "Change my mind," and he's sitting there at the table with a coffee cup? Mm-hmm. So she drew up a sign that said, "I'm still arm wrestling champion," or something, "Change my mind." And essentially we just took Devon into different bars and put $400 on the table, and for like 6 hours. I mean, it was a long night. We didn't leave there till about 1:30. We had person after person coming up. And as the night went on, it was funnier. We ended up at this place called the Tin Roof, which is this karaoke joint. The karaoke was awful. There's at one point in that video you can see.
I heard that.
And I was beside myself with like the hours of karaoke, but I was also laughing at Devon. And this one guy had like his elbow in the air and his shoulder behind it, and I'm like, Devon's gonna. I was wincing, and I can't remember if I was wincing because I was like just exhausted, if the music was just that bad, or if I was afraid Devon was going to break this guy's arm. But it was, I mean, you want to talk about funny. I mean, I don't know how many times we dumped him over in that wheelchair just trying to get him like through places, like off the elevator, you know. And we got the craziest looks from people. Now there's this one guy, and I'm gonna put him on blast. His name's Charlie Kazaya. All right. Charlie was like, "Hey, I'd love to get together with you guys tonight and be part of whatever you guys have going on." And I said, "Well, we're going to end up at the press box." And then we left the press box because we couldn't find anybody to arm wrestle, and we went to the Epicenter. And right when he was getting to the press box, I said, "Oh, we went to the Epicenter." So he met us down there with his wife and his stepson. He shows up, and, you know, he meets everybody, but Devon's sitting in the wheelchair. So, like, we're separated from them for like 2 minutes, and he says to me, he says, "Hey," he says, "when's Devon getting here?" I was like, "You don't know that that's Devon sitting in that wheelchair." And he was like, "Oh, that's Devon Larratt?" I said, "You just said you were a fan of his. You can't tell that guy in that awful disguise over there is Devon Larratt." And he said, "No." I said, "He's taller than you, sitting in a wheelchair. He looks like a giraffe that plays volleyball, and you can't tell that is a." It was ridiculous, you know. But we had a good time, and you know, we arm wrestled, and you know, we drank and had a good time, and it was really funny. I mean, there's probably at least 4.5 hours of footage that Tom had to cut down into like whatever it was, 17, 18 minutes, but it was pretty funny. And we all went home at like, I don't know, 2 a.m, and I had a long day of work the next day. So, but yeah, Devon just left the other day. He was here for a while, and he certainly got a lot of arm wrestling in, and they did a whole bunch of filming. I don't know if you guys watched that last video.
I caught it, yeah.
I saw the thumbnail, so I understood that it was Devon in an outfit, and I thought it was a fantastic idea, but I just didn't have time to watch the video.
You understood it was Devon in an outfit the moment you looked at him, right?
Absolutely, yes.
That's why I'm saying, Charlie, I don't know, man. I got questions about you. I got some questions that you didn't know that.
Devon did really good. He did really good on that. I didn't realize he had such a sense of humor, you know. He's really growing on me. Watching some of his videos, he's really good.
Originally, what we were going to do was he wanted. I don't know if you guys know who Ron Bath is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Arm wrestler.
Well, he wanted to say his name was Ron Bath, and he just got, broken out of the nursing home by his grandsons kind of thing. So instead of doing that, he just kept telling people he was from Canton, Georgia. He stuck with the name Dale, but it would have been funny if he went with the Ron name. I guess, not everybody would have gotten it, but to the people who do know who Ron is, it would have been really funny.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But it was a good time, and it was a fun time for sure.
Yeah, it sounds awesome, man. For sure. Cool. Well, thanks for sharing that with us, James. That's pretty sweet. Good story. Lots of good stuff going on over to Jujimufu's channel, so pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, I got a chance to see some of his new grip implements, too.
Oh, yeah?
His new grippers and, his pinch block, which I think is a little too wide, but his pinch block, and, he had a lot of that stuff there. So
I didn't know he's doing grippers.
Genie. Yeah, they started a company called Grip Genie. So
yeah, I thought he just had like a hub and a pinch block. I didn't know he was working the gripper angle. That's nice.
Yeah. Well, I know they're not selling them yet, but that's I'm guessing that's a goal.
Cool. Okay. I'm curious about those. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I didn't know he was doing grippers either. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. From what I can tell you, the handles felt kind of like they felt a little bit thinner than the Iron Mine ones, like the Captains of Crush ones. But the knurling felt pretty comparable, maybe slightly more aggressive. They were pretty comfortable. The grippers, they felt pretty good. So we'll see what happens. I hope
awesome.
I hope it was okay for me to say that. I don't even know if it was, but I'm sure they're coming out with the grippers regardless. So
yeah,
sure.
Cool, man. Anything else from that little visit, James?
No. It was just it was a fun time. It was a really long night.
Was there any grip workouts that took place that you saw?
Well, not like the day that I was there with Devon. He and I were just we were talking about grip and stuff like that. But he was going to train grip with Tom and Juji, and he had said that his wide pinch was awful. Like he said his wide pitch was awful, but I can tell from gripping up with Devon, his cupping strength is, otherworldly,
sure.
And his pronation is otherworldly. And because his forearm is so long, when he pivots off of his elbow and he pronates, it is deadly. It makes sense that so few people in the world can get past that because he is monstrous. So.
Right. Wow.
Oh, forearm length that's not a disadvantage?
No, not at all.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
If you have a tall forearm, you can use your elbow almost as, I hope I'm using this term correctly, but like a fulcrum point, you pivot off of it, and you sort of elongate your forearm the taller you make it. And if you try to hold on to somebody's hand who's got a tall forearm and they're strong enough to be able to lock their body and pivot down on their elbow, they will just blast through your hand,
I get it from that point of view. Okay. I was thinking a shorter arm would be a shorter lever, so I would think
it can be.
That makes sense. Yeah.
There's some really
he can come right over the top.
Yeah, there's some good hook pullers who will, with a short forearm, will lower you to their angle, and they'll put you at an angle that's uncomfortable for you, and it makes it really hard to hook against them, especially if they have a big, strong hand. Like I trained with a guy named Guy Lasorsa, who was a world champion in the late 70s, early 80s, and he was like that. Big hand, short forearm, created really uncomfortable hooking angles. And I would say, Luke is probably going to be like that too. Luke Raymond, when Luke gets to that level, which he's probably at or close to, he's going to be very difficult for people to deal with because of that short forearm and that, that big, strong hand. So.
Right. Yeah, he's still been, as far as I know, he's still been hitting workouts every Tuesday. So he puts in 2.5 hours with me in Wyalusing and drives all the way to Sayre, Waverly, and that's probably like 50 minutes away, and then does another couple hours of arm wrestling on Tuesday night. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. That's the kind of dedication it takes.
Yep.
It really is.
Sweet.
He's going to be a badass.
Yeah, man. Cool. Anything else, fellas?
I just have one last thing. Hopefully maybe somebody can help me out with this, but it seems like the folks at Maverick have changed their recipe on their playing cards. And I've heard that their new generation is a lot tougher than the previous ones that we'd seen. I'm hoping somebody might be able to confirm that for me. So I picked up some new decks today. They actually have like a horseshoe on the side of them now, and they don't come plastic wrapped anymore.
Oh, really?
So, yep, and that was the ones that they had. The price hasn't changed, but they're supposed to be a lot tougher. I didn't know if they went back to a previous formula, because at one time Maverick made a tough set of playing cards to tear, and then they got really easy, and it seems like they're trending back the other way. So wow. I didn't know if anybody tried any of the newest generation or not. So, but it seems like finding the easy ones probably isn't going to happen around here anymore.
So
you said they have a horseshoe on them, eh?
There's a horseshoe on the side of the deck now, where it says Maverick. And the previous ones, it just says plastic coated, and they actually look they look exceptionally cheap. They look like an 88-cent deck of cards.
Right.
And the new ones, they actually look a bit more professional. They kind of dressed them up like bicycles a little bit.
Right.
So it's still Maverick, still same price, but I've heard they're a lot tougher though than they used to be. So, but that's only from one source, and I won't be trying these for a while. So, anybody that might have any insight, I'd be real curious what they're thinking. So,
cool.
I'll ask, because I'm supposed to go, and I'm gonna go to Jason Otto's on Wednesday with Gary Stewart, and we're gonna do some tearing and stuff. But I will ask them, because they're all about some card tearing right now. And I would also maybe ask Sean Kapusta and Robert Najedli, because Robert seems to be on top of that stuff. So,
sure.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, hopefully one of those guys are listening and they can chime in.
Yeah, those are good guys to ask about that. They're in the know.
Well, Sean will be listening for sure, because he tests our sound quality every week.
Right.
So.
Mike, check. Mike, check. One. I don't even know how to do it. Well, cool. All right, Alan, the show's yours, brother. Take it away.
All right. Well, that's episode 82. Everybody, hope you liked it. Make sure to hit the notification bell, comment down below, and we'll be back next week with another one. We'll see you then.